On September 10, 1972, just 5 days after 11 members of the Israeli Olympic team were murdered, the world tuned in to watch Tom McMillen and the U.S. men's basketball team take on their bitter rival, the Soviet Union, for gold.
And that game was extremely important because the United States had never lost since basketball was introduced into the game.
It's true. Since basketball joined the Olympics in 1936, Team USA had never lost gold, and McMillen and his team were determined to keep that streak alive.
So we ended up falling behind in the first half. Second half came around and we came from behind. At the end of the game, Doug Collins went to the basket. They just killed him. And he hit the two most pressure-filled free throws anybody could ever hit on worldwide television. He hit those shots. We're up by 1, 3 seconds to go. We felt that we had won the game at that point.
Team USA held off the Soviets as time expired, but they didn't win. Not exactly, anyways.
We proceeded to play the next 3 plays.
For those who don't know, the last 3 seconds of the game were played 3 times. The first replay because the Soviets claimed a timeout had not been acknowledged. And the second replay due to confusion over the game clock.
Referee Renato Righetto tells Coach Iba that the clock will be reset to show that there are still 3 seconds to play.
They played it once, and then the clock got reset. Played again, the clock got reset. Played it a third time. Finally, the Russians prevailed.
The final buzzer sounds for the second time. This time, there was no replay.
It was crazy. I would get into all the details.
It's just a melee.
It's just chaos.
The Soviet Union 51, the United States 50.
Team USA's loss to the Soviets during the '72 Olympics stunned the world, and is a moment that former Maryland Congressman Tom McMillen and his teammates have never forgotten.
The United States further protested the game to the International Olympic Committee. The United States protest was denied.
So we ended up refusing to accept the silver medals. To this day, we've never accepted them. And so we're all going to go to our graves with that asterisk in history.
Now, McMillen's loss is certainly not the only stunning Olympic upset. There was the 2004 Dream Team who settled for bronze, the 2008 women's softball team who became the first U.S. team not to win gold since softball became an Olympic sport, and of course the 1980 Miracle on Ice, where this time it was the U.S. who shocked the world by beating the Soviets.
You know, anyone can be gracious when you win. It's much harder to be gracious when you lose. Like, how do you handle that?
You go there with the highest expectations, and then you have a basketball game and you come home very sobered by it all.
Despite this bitter loss, McMillen kept playing basketball. And in 1974, the Buffalo Braves, now the LA Clippers, selected him 9th overall in the NBA draft. McMillen went on to play 11 seasons in the NBA. First with the Knicks after being traded from Buffalo, then to Atlanta with the Hawks where he played for 4 seasons, and finally landing back in the DMV after being traded to Washington.
So I went from New York to Atlanta. I was playing for Ted Turner, who was a great owner. I went to Ted, I said, Ted, would you trade me to Washington because I want to run for Congress? And he did it. He traded me to Washington.
McMillen wrapped up his NBA career with 3 solid seasons for the Bullets from 1983 to 1986.
Tom McMillen screen good.
Where he played alongside the 7'7" shot-blocking legend Manute Bol. And he helped the team block 716 shots during the 85-86 season, a franchise record.
I ended up playing here a number of years, and then I ran for Congress my last year, but I announced for Congress before the season, so I was a candidate for Congress the whole season.
While you were playing?
While I was playing.
Certainly the last minutes officially for Tom McMillen as he calls it a career, goes to run for Congress in a district in Maryland.
You're an active candidate for Congress, and you are playing a full NBA schedule. How?
So I brought people to the game. I brought, supporters, labor union. I would grab a player like Larry Bird, and I say, Larry, can you come up and say hello to these people for me? And Bird would do it, Magic would do it, Kareem would do it. So I was using the games as sort of a forum.
I mean, that's crazy.
I know.
In the fall of '86, Maryland's 4th District sent McMillen to Congress for the first time, where he would serve for 3 terms until he lost re-election in 1992.
Did you play with members?
Is in the House of Representatives every afternoon at 3:30 they would have a basketball game. It was the best bond between Republicans and Democrats. Some of my best friends in the Congress, Republicans, emanated from that game.
Are there lessons from the pros that sports informs politics, or like how you approached it?
You have to be able to get along with people. You have to be able to play with them. You have to be able to work with them. In some cases, you may despise them, or you may have tremendous animosity, but you still have to work with them.